Master Tavern Keeper's History of the Old World. Well, that hit the spot. Right then, let us get on to the origins and nature of Stromfels. Stromfels is oft referred to as the Shark God, as well as the Wrecker, the King of the Raging Seas, and the Lord of Predators. He represents the destructive and savage aspects of the sea, such as storms and tidal waves, as well as its most predatory creatures, be they sharks, sea monsters and giant squids, or pirates and wreckers. Although, of course, it is only these latter two that make up his worshipful followers. Now, unlike the gods Ulrich, Tal, and Raya...
Raya? Not Ria?
I have to say that I use both interchangeably. My father used to say Ria, but my mother would say Raya. They'd occasionally have a tiff about it, but nothing serious. I think it depends on your background as to which you use, I suppose. I found my more rural relatives used to say Raya, but on my father's side it was Ria. Same as either and either, neither and neither, often and often, and so on.
Oh, yeah, I had not thought about it in those terms, actually. Thank you, Master Tavern Keeper, but I interrupted again. Please, continue.
No, not a problem at all. Well, as I was about to say, Stromfels, unlike Manan and those other gods we just mentioned, is no sibling nor son of any other god, nor a mortal who ascended to godhood, such as my own patron Ranald. No, he is, or so some claim, far older. But according to some in the cult of Stromfels, and some of the scant few scholars and priests willing to talk on the matter, they claim actually he is an aspect of Manan himself, if not the true form of Manan himself. It is worth emphasizing that this is fiercely denied by Mananites, and the source of the feud between the two cults. Followers of Manan maintain that Stromfels is the sworn enemy of the god of the sea. They'll freely admit that Manan is both capricious and uncaring, but will point out that in contrast, Stromfels takes delight in preying on those who sail on the sea. Thus, the current matriarch of the Order of the Albatross, Engla Brack, my mother's childhood friend, now relocated to Marienburg, whom we spoke of earlier, is one of the most vocal proponents of the worship of Stromfels being outlawed throughout the Empire, with transgressors forfeiting their lives if found guilty. As to whether such a thing will come to pass, well, who knows? With the three emperors vying to rule the Empire at the moment, well, I doubt that now is the time for such things. But in the centuries to come, when once more the Empire becomes unified, who can say?
Oh, yeah, I see. And so, what do you think, Master Tavern Keeper? Is this Stromfels an aspect of Manan, or is he a distinct god?
Well, both are possible, of course, and who are we, mere laymen, to say which is true of the nature of a divine being? But, well, before you plant your flag in any particular camp, know this. It is only a theory on the nature of Stromfels that he is a dark shadow of Manan. Back when I was a student in Nuln, I recall drinking with some theologians who, like Sedrik kind of guessed earlier, claimed that Stromfels was in fact a Diluvian Norscan god, ancient and distinct.
Oh, you see, I was right.
No, I'm not saying that they were right, and that you are right. I'm just saying that it's just an idea, a theory. No better than a wild stab in the dark, to be perfectly honest, though.
Oh, I see. Well, here's a follow-up question then. What do the followers of Stromfels themselves believe?
Ah, now we're getting to the nub of it. Well, they say that their god is no mere aspect of Manan. They say that theirs is the true interpretation of the sea god, bereft of the bells and whistles that humanity has attached to him. Manan as he truly is. Manan the destroyer, the unfettered soul of the sea. Stromfels. Thus, the cultists of Stromfels in return loathe the followers of Manan for their hypocrisy in denying their god's true nature. Such is the gulf between some followers of the two cults that death can be the only outcome if they meet, be that by murder, execution, or sacrifice. However, there are others in both camps who extend the olive branch and acknowledge that they are brothers and sisters in the service of the same god. Who can say which of these two strategies will triumph in the long term, though?
Ach, it's the old world. I think I know which one will come out on top. And it ain't the path of peace and flowers.
You may be right. But anyway, all that being as it is worth stressing, in support of this claim, that there are indeed more similarities between the followers of Manan and Stromfels than there are differences.
Ach, like what?
Well, much as the followers of Manan are all seamen, huffers, and, any and all that make their living on the high seas and her tributaries, so too are the cultists of Stromfels, men of the ocean. But these are pirates, raiders, and wreckers to a man. What unifies them is their belief that might makes right, and that just as the violent sea should be feared and respected, so should they.
Oh, yeah, I see. But one other thing that unifies these cultists of Stromfels is that they are murderers. Just going back to one of the points that we talked about earlier, really, what is it that separates them from the chattel of the Chaos Gods?
Ah, now, that is a very good point, Heinrich. Well, my answer is this, and in a single word, in fact, I can answer it. And the word is cruelty. There may be cruel consequences for the acts the followers of Stromfels perpetrate, but this is not the reason that they do them. With most of the devotees of chaos, cruelty is an end unto itself, and a sweet meat to the deities that they honour and serve. Not so with the followers of Stromfels. It is an afterthought at best. But it is not just your common worshippers who engage in piracy and whatnot. The priests of Stromfels, too, are in on the action. And, one criticism you can never level at a follower of Stromfels is hypocrisy, which is in fact the major source of their umbrage with the Mananites.
Oh, yeah. My grandpapa told me that in order for any man or woman to be initiated into the cult of Stromfels, they had to first demonstrate that they were in fact a predator, be that a pirate or wrecker or whatever. Initiates did not even need to be seamen, he told me. My grandpapa said that he had heard tell of outlaws of the woods, mountain bandits, and even city-dwelling racketeers rising in the ranks of the cult. But that said so, most of his priests were actually pirates. It is just such a perfect fit. So as far as I can tell, the common worshippers of Stromfels are engaging in piracy, or banditry, or whatever. And the priests are also engaging in piracy and banditry and whatever. What's the difference between the two? How do you tell them apart?
Well, they're still priests. And as such, they have been granted the divine blessings of their patron, Stromfels.
So you mean they can wield magic?
Indeed. In a roundabout way, yes. I've heard of some who can track a wounded man as well as any hound by the scent of their blood alone. Others who can nullify the blessings of other gods, at least whilst they're on the sea. Some who can summon up a wave to come out of nowhere and crash into, well, whatever they like, be that a boat on the water or a quay in a harbour. Likewise, I've heard of some who can harness the winds to come fill their sails, and others who can cause the hull of a damaged ship to split and crack, ensuring the swift deaths of all on board.
Oh, yeah, and my grandpapa actually told me of one other. He told me that seasickness is also as a result of a curse of Stromfels. I'm not sure about that one, to be honest.
Yes, why don't we chalk that one up in the maybe column, Heinrich?
Oh, yeah. Whatever. It is no skin of my pretty little nose.
Good. Well, we would not wish to cause any damage to such a precious and delightful neb.